Good morning. I'm James Brierton, out and about with you in Charlotte with an update on Tropical Storm Nicole. As of this morning, the National Hurricane Center is now classifying Nicole as a tropical storm. It's no longer a subtropical storm, but the storm is still fairly large for a storm. Matter of fact, if you look at the forecast cone, before we even talk about the forecast itself, look how large the tropical storm force winds extend out from its current location. You can see it reaching out hundreds of miles in many directions, and that's going to impact the Carolinas as we look ahead to Friday and Saturday. So the thinking right now is that we'll still have landfall as a strong tropical storm or a hurricane along the east coast of Florida on Thursday, and then the impact starts into the Carolinas by Friday and Saturday. An update from Monday is that the forecast now includes Nicole to maintain that tropical storm characteristics as it comes through the Carolinas on Friday and Saturday. That means winds at least 39 miles an hour, and you can see almost all of the Carolinas are inside the forecast cone in some form or fashion. Let's look at when the winds are going to arrive here. Again, remember, the winds extend hundreds of miles out from the center of the storm, so we're talking about winds arriving in the Carolinas as early as Thursday at 8 a.m. in Charleston, 8 p.m. for Columbia, and then coming into places like Charlotte and Raleigh by the time we get to Friday morning. We're still talking about a storm that's going to have lots of wind and rain with it. The National Hurricane Center has already gone ahead and put up some warnings along the coast, including a hurricane warning that extends offshore. Onshore, the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service are coordinating the impacts to be coastal flooding, high surf, marine warnings, heavy rain, flash flooding, and winds along the coast. And the National Weather Service is already forewarning of rainfall amounts that could exceed 3 inches in some places along the coast. So while the coast will have to deal with what they typically deal with in these setups, of course, which would be the rough surf, the beach erosion, the storm surge, the impact being right there along the coast. You know that Charleston floods on a bad day in a bad storm, and this could be a situation where we're dealing with some of those traditional coastal hazards. As for the rest of the Carolinas, the tropical storm probably pretty reminiscent of what we dealt with Ian, in that we'll have periods of gusty winds, heavy rain, and localized flooding. We're not expecting any sort of widespread hurricane impacts from this storm, but certainly tropical intense storms, rainfall by the time we get to Friday and Saturday across the Carolinas. We'll keep you updated. That's the latest. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. Talk to you again soon.